Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Sports Orbit right here under the leadership of Podcaster Studio. My name is Olawale Ayeni and I'll be your host for today. Thank God it is a Friday at this point in time, and we are actually cruising because the Nigerian basketball team are actually cruising far away Rwanda. They just defeated their counterpart from Kenya in the second group game of the ongoing Afro basketball. Right there in Rwanda. On this note, I want to welcome you to a Sport Orbit. Also, Alpha, join us in the studio. Also, Alpha, how are you doing today?
Always a pleasure to be here, and what a way to start the show with at least some good news coming from the camp of the Tigers.
Of course, the match just finished some few moments ago where the Tigers actually defeated the Kenya counterpart 71-55 in that particular match. That they actually played the first game, and they actually get to win that match against Mali, and now this is the second game. They are cruising, they are firing with all cylinders. How will you describe the performance of the Tigers so far? Knowing fully well that this is another brand new team away from the Olympic Games.
I mean, top-notch performance, if I must say. I think a few days back when we were here talking about this game here with Salifu, I had mentioned the fact that the Kenyans will not be a match for, the Tigers, when it comes to basketball, at least in Africa, outside, the Angolans and probably the North Africans. Nigeria has always, been a power when it comes to basketball. So no surprises here. I mean, it was an emphatic victory, 77-55 points. So let's kick on from there. I hope that if they defeat their next opponent next game, so they have a chance. Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivorian teams haven't been able to, really go through the team list and see how strong they are. But I believe the Ivorians shouldn't be, really a tough test per se for the Tigers. Once we defeat the Ivorians, we have a chance of going into the quarterfinals. And once you get to the quarterfinals of any competition, there's every possibility of going all the way. So congratulations to the Tigers, and we expect more from them. A lot of us were hoping that due to the absence of a lot of the NBA stars, they might not be able to, play well. But even without the NBA stars, I mean, surprisingly, they are putting up good performances. And, with the inclusion of 4 home-based stars in that one, they've given a good account of themselves. So I really hope the Tigers will really go all the way this time around and probably clinch the title, because, I mean, the last time we won a basketball title was I think 2015. So that's like about 6 years ago. So that's quite a long time, So I really hope that this year the Tigers will really emerge as the African champions.
At this point in time, should they actually say, bring on Tunisia, bring on Angola, and we are ready for them at this point?
That will be too early for now. When they play Cote d'Ivoire, then we can start talking about Angola and Tunisia. Of course, we know Angolans when it comes to basketball. I mean, 8-time winners, if my memory serves me correct, they've won it 8 times. The Tunisians too are not too far behind, in the number of wins. So these are the powerhouses when it comes to basketball in Africa. So I expect the Tigers, first of all, to defeat Cote d'Ivoire. Then from then on, we can start talking about who next to bring on.
Of course, we expect Mike Brown's side to actually get to win their group and qualify to the quarterfinal stage. Like Alpha said, from the quarterfinal stage, they can actually go all the way to the finals, and hopefully they can able to be crowned champions of Africa again. So away from the slamming and dunking game at this point in time, we head straight to the news coming in from the Super Eagles camp at this point in time, where coach Gernot Rohr has actually invited 30 players that will actually to prosecute the match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the Lone Star of Liberia, and also Cape Verde. That will be coming up September 3rd. That will be played in Lagos, and also the other match will be played in Cape Verde at this point in time. But looking at the 30-man list, I don't know if my producer have it at this point in time. They have a whole lot of players there, but They have about 8, standing player in case if the
Premier League,
Premier League
rules
rules
concerning.
actually stop the players from coming to play the qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, good one for at least now we know that we camp will be opening soon for games to for the World Cup qualifiers. But eventually, of course, the 30-man list will eventually be cut down to 23, as the case may be. But like we discussed here some days ago, I really hope that with FIFA stepping into the issues concerning the quarantine issues all around some of the top leagues in Europe, I really hope that the Premier League will release some of the players, because we need these players to prosecute these games. Because imagine playing the qualifiers without our top stars like the Kelechis, the Iwobis, the Ndidis, and the rest of them. A lot of these players in the squad, yes, there are a couple of new names here who, at the end of the day, I do not even expect them to make the team. But of course, they might see some of action, some form of action. Not forgetting that this is not a friendly game. This is the World Cup qualifier. So we need our best legs to prosecute these matches. So I really hope that the issues facing, the restrictions of players will be able to be resolved now that FIFA has stepped in, so that at least we can have these players, don the jersey of the Super Eagles to, to play these qualifiers. Because if you don't, in fact, this is even the first round, and you know how the African qualifiers are usually.
Very difficult.
Very difficult, and you have to play through this prelim stage before you even get to the main stage. So if you don't,
every game is actually not important.
Every game should be taken like a final, because the moment you don't garner points in every game like that, your chances of even making it to the next stage becomes very slim. So good one. I hope that out of these 30 players, Gernot Rohr will be able to select the best of the best, and he always has issues when it comes to selecting players. Of course, I've seen a couple of names there who I'm seeing for the first time.
Just to read out the names of the player, we have Francis Ozoho, Onyekuru, we have Daniel Akpegi, we have Maduka Okoye. That actually made up the three goalkeeper that was not called up by coach Gernot Rohr. Then looking at the defenders, we have Chidozie Awazim, Kenneth Omeru. Kenneth coming back to the team again.
I was surprised to see him on the list.
Balogun, Williams Trust Ekon, Olaoluwa Aino, Jamilu Collins, Abdullah Ishewu, Zaidu Sanusi, Kevin Akpoma, that plays for Offenham in Germany. Looking at the midfield, we have Ogene Tabo, we have Wilfred Ididi, Frank Okoye, Onyeka, Joseph Aribo in the middle of the park. Then the forward, of course, the Rangers midfielder. Forward, we have Ahmed Musa, we have Alex Iwobi of Everton, we have Samuel Kalu of France Bordeaux, we have Victor Simon Napoli, we have Kelechi Iheanacho, Moses Simon. Simon actually makes a return to that particular team after being left out for the final game against Lesotho. Then Paul Onacho also make the final cut of 25 players. Then the 7 others putting on standby in case anything happen with the English players. Henry Onyekuru, we have Chidera Ezuki, we have Innocent Boike, we have Valentine Osonafo, we have Tono Ebuche, Kingsley Michael. That actually make up the 7 other players in that particular one. Then looking at the list, is there any player you think should not actually make that list and they're in the list, or player who was supposed to be in the list and are not in the list?
Well, I'm surprised to see the former Chelsea player who never really got to make his cut at Chelsea.
Kenneth,
exactly, at this point, I mean, he's almost a forgotten name. I actually forgot if he actually still plays football, but seeing his name on the list, it was a bit of a surprise to me, because
of course he played for Netherlands.
Yes, I know. I mean, but when was the last time he did really anything spectacular in his career? So these players he's almost a forgotten man, especially
one of the senior player as it is now.
No, it's not about being
Ahmed Musa.
It's not about being a senior player. It's about performance. With the emergence of the likes of Truss Ekong and Leon Balogun, they completely relegated Omeru, completely put him out of reckoning for the Super Eagles. But to see him even get a call-up after so many years out there in the cold, it's a surprise for me. At the end of the day, I feel he might not even make the final list. But even if he makes the list, he might not get to see plenty of action because, I mean, we have a Truce Ekong there. And, of course, enough young players coming through the ranks. So I was expecting to see... Okay, Paul Noache is there, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. It's a good list. So, but the main thing now is for the main players, the first 11 or the first 16 who step into the pitch, that is where the issues are because Gernot Rohr has a good selection problem, which is always a good problem for a coach to have this kind of problem. So it's just expected that he, selects the best 11 who eventually prosecutes these games on the day.
It's actually baffled me where when we're playing the qualifiers, it's just like a roller coaster. We get to demolish any club, any country that actually come our way. No disrespect to our opponent and all that. But when it matters the most, when it comes to the biggest stage that we want Rohr to actually deliver, that is when Super Eagles will now fall like a pack of cards.
Well, I hope this time will be different. We've spoken severally about his technical, abilities here. A lot of soccer-loving fans in Nigeria have questioned his technical prowess, and as a person too, I really don't think Gernot Rohr is very, very sound technically. The kind of substitutions he makes, even his general tactics when in the course of the game, a lot of time he gets it wrong when and how he makes those subs, the kind of players he even subs, like for like. So he always has those issues, but I really hope that first of all, we get to qualify first of all. Then when we get to qualify, we can now start talking about if we need someone else to take us further. Because, I mean, his deal was just to take us to the Nations Cup and qualify us, but it wasn't stated if he was going to actually take us to Qatar. But his deal ends if he can qualify us for Qatar. So if he qualifies us for Qatar eventually, we might decide to bring in someone else. Yes,
definitely. NFF will extend his contract if he actually get to qualify.
Why should his contract be extended
to Qatar? 2022. I'm very certain that NFF.
If I can recall, in recent memory, Gernot Rohr has been one of the longest-serving Eagles coaches.
Of course,
he's been there for going to 5-6 years
2016.
now. 2016, so
that's about 5 years.
So I think it's time for him to make way for someone else who can take Nigeria further. It shouldn't be another World Cup if we qualify where we'll go and still get to our usual second round. And we should be talking of going to either the quarterfinals or the semi-finals. Who say we can? I mean, the Senegalese team in their very first appearance at the World Cup made it to the quarterfinals. So who says Nigeria, with the kind of materials we have at our disposal, cannot even take it a step further by playing in the semi-finals? So I really think if Gernot Rohr qualifies up for Qatar, the NFF should be thinking of bringing a new gaffer to take over from him.
Should it be a foreign coach or should it be a local coach?
Well, it depends. If we have a local coach who can deliver, why not?
So we have the likes of Emmanuel Monike, we have Austin Egabon is there.
Well, then there's no harm in giving these local coaches, a shot at the top job.
Is also there.
But the problem is a lot of times when they even give these local coaches the job, they don't treat them as well as they treat the foreign counterparts. Like an ex-Falcons coach, came out to decry on the level of maltreatment, they get from the NFF, compared to their foreign counterparts. So if we are bringing a local coach, he should be remunerated, given the kind of welfare packages that we see the foreign coaches enjoy. So I think if we give them that kind of support, they should be able to do very well.
Just to let you know that Togolese officials has been, given the mandate to handle the proceeding at the start of that match between Nigeria and Liberia in Lagos at this point in time. And also, the NFF are saying the five, of course, at this point in time, my producer said we should actually go for a short break. And when we come back, we still have a lot to talk about the Super Eagles and other news for you. Also, Ronaldo is in the news. Is it going to Manchester City? Is it going to Manchester United? We'll let you know at the when we come back from the short break. Don't go there. Of course, thank you for staying with us. We are still talking about the Nigerian Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of the World Cup qualifier against the Lone Star of Liberia before we went on that short break. At this point in time, the NFF has confirmed that only 5,000 spectators will be, allowed to watch the Nigerian, Super Eagles match against Liberia. They actually applied, for 12,000 from CAF, but at this point in time, due to the COVID-19 restriction, CAF has just approved 5,000 fans to enter into the Teslim Balogun Stadium with a capacity of 21,000.
Good move. It's time to start, even in Europe. The space has, gradually opened up. So football fans are now back into the stadium. So why not Nigeria? And yes, fine, even at the risk of a third wave of the COVID, but still, the cases are not as high as, a lot of us are imagining it to be. So, but of course, generally, I mean, fans are back to watching the game of football. So, and this is what makes the game interesting. Spectators, and it's been a while since Nigerians actually saw the Super Eagles play. So this
A handful of fans was actually
handful,
allowed to
but
watch,
it wasn't.
the Lesotho game.
It was
because I
about
was in the
3,000
stadium
or
that day.
so. It wasn't up to. But this
Towards the tail end of the match,
yes, some fans
the door was
thrown
now
open.
open
So
for
this
fans to
will,
come in.
you know how it is. This will also be the situation. 5,000 fans, but at the end of the day, I'm sure more than 5,000 fans will find a way of getting into the stadium. It's a 21,000 capacity stadium, so I expect a half full house. Good one at least for spectators to come and cheer the Eagles on. When you play in front of your fans, there's always that extra incentive to even go all the way to put up a good show. So I think it's a good one. At least let's have some fans watch the Super Eagles again.
Of course, let's have some fans getting to watch the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Will you be in the Teslim Balogun Stadium where both countries battle for a place in Qatar? I leave that for you to answer. But at this point in time, we go straight to our next story where Super Eagles forward talking about Henry Onyekuru has scored a first goal for Olympiacos at this point in time. We saw him moving from Galatasaray, from England to Turkey,
To
now
France. At
to
point he went
France.
on loan to
Now he's
I think Monaco.
Now he's in Greece.
Yes, Onyekuru has constantly been on the move in the last 3 or 4 years, and he's quite a bit unsettled, and most of these moves have been loan move. He hasn't been able to, lock down a permanent deal. But this move to Turkey, to Greece, to Olympiacos, who happen to be the Greece champions, I think it's a good move for him. I think this deal is more a permanent deal, and for him coming up to to score in his first game of the season, good one for him. Even though at the end of the day, Olympiacos did not win that match, but he was they played a 1-0 draw, but Onyekuru was the man who was able to at least restore some pride in that match, getting the goal for Olympiacos.
Will he do well in Greek? Will he score more than 10 goals throughout the season?
Well, he has scored one already, so let's start counting. So by the end of the season, he has maybe like 30 plus matches to play. So if he has scored one, we could say in another 36 games, he could be able to put at least 10 or 12 more goals into the back of the net. So I really hope he stamps a regular playing shirt in Greece this time around, and to prevent him from going on loan to another club again.
Of course, we'll keep you abreast from the performance of Henry Onyekuru, going forward. We want to wish him all the best in Greek, and sure that you keep fit. And
Did he get an Eagles call up?
But standby among the standby player, because at this point in time, the Super Eagles wingers are very, very they are very, very terrific for me. They are much. We have Samuel Kalu, Moses Simon, we have Wobi. So Musa also is still there, so
exactly.
It's really a
competition
tight one.
for places is very, very high.
It's really a tight one, for those players. Still talking about Super Eagles, forward, where Isaac Sussex has actually, joined Udinese, has joined a Serie A club called Udinese at this point in time. He was with Watford for some years, but now he has put pen to paper, 3-year deal for Isaac's success. We know that a certain Trust Icon was in Udinese before he now signed for Watford. Is there this symbiotic relationship with Udinese and Watford?
Not really, I think, but for Isaac's success, I hope he goes out there to Italy and really make a solid impression this time around. He's been at Watford.
He has been in Spain.
Exactly, so same like
actually get his reading, score a handful of goals.
Almost same like Onyekuru too. He has moved quite a bit. When he came to Watford, it was expected that he was going to be a big hit at Watford, but somehow
he lost his footing.
He exactly at Watford and hasn't really made the cut. So Watford had to sell him back to the Serie to Udinese. I really hope he performs better this time. The Italian league, I mean, no disrespect to the league, but it's not as competitive
it's very physical.
Yes, it is physical, but
very
I mean,
physical.
With what the experience he must have garnered from the Premiership, he should be able to withstand the physical pressures of the Serie, of which the English league is more. The tempo is higher, faster, and it's more about speed. So I hope that he puts all these attributes in the Serie and really makes an impact this time around.
Of course, his sign-off fee was undisclosed by both club, and the 35-year-old is expected, to deliver goals for Udinese in the Serie, in the Italian Serie. Away from that, we head straight to the Champions League at this point in time, where the draws of the 2021/2022 Champions League was, done yesterday, where champions Chelsea are set to face Juventus. Barca are drawn against Bayern Munich at this point in time. Then you can actually see the group on your screen right about there. Which of this group do you see that is the group of death at
Clearly,
this point in time?
Group B stands out. There's Atletico, Liverpool, Porto, and Milan. It don't come better than that, So that's the group of death. So I mean, in this group, so who goes through and who doesn't?
Okay.
And Milan, interestingly, are making a return back to the Champions League. So after so many years out. This is Milan that made the Champions League their own. 7-time winners of the competition, and have been out. Due to form or loss of key players, dwindling fortunes, but
managers.
Exactly. But they've been able to come back to the Champions League, and in that group with Atletico, Liverpool, and Porto, it's going to be really, really interesting how they eventually end up in that group. In fact, right now it's difficult for me to actually pick who I suspect will gain qualification in that particular and who drops down to the Europa competition. But that's the group of death for now. That's the toughest group.
Looking at Manchester City, they'll be facing PSG.
Clearly,
Messi will be facing his former boss.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see. And unfortunately, we were expecting that it's going to be a Messi versus Ronaldo show once again. But right now, it's looking like the move to Man City is a bit shaky. So a lot of talk also looking forward to that clash. But as it is right now, it might not be the case. But it'll be interesting to see Messi play against, a former boss, a boss under which he won so much silverware. And I'd like to see how PSG actually plays against Man City. I mean, both are coming with plenty of fantastic players, both oil-rich clubs. So it'll be an interesting matchup, really.
So talking about the Champions League, where the UEFA award actually, which was done yesterday, saw Chelsea Jorginho being crowned the best player of the 2020/2021 season. Was this a right move? Some supporters said NGolo Kante was the person that actually should be given that particular award.
Well, NGolo Kante has a case, no doubt about that. But for Jorginho, considering that,
is it because he's a black player?
No, I wouldn't want to think that's the case. Fine, you might say Kante also won the Super Cup and the Champions League.
Of course.
But don't forget that
his presence was also felt.
But don't forget that Jorginho actually won the Euros again with Italy. So I think that gave him an extra edge. So he actually won 3 trophies while Kante won 2. So it's understandable that he eventually clinched the player of the year. And it's trying to know that it was almost like an all Chelsea affair at that awards. Best goalkeeper going to Chelsea,
of course,
coach, and
player
all
of the
that.
year,
So,
Jorginho,
exactly.
Chelsea, coach of the year, Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea, goalkeeper of the year, Mendy of Chelsea, defender of the year, Ruben Dias of Manchester City, midfielder of the year, NGolo Kante, forward of the year. This is going to Erling Haaland of Borussia Dortmund. Then looking at the President's Award, Denmark captain Simon Kijal and the medical team that actually saved Christian Eriksen's life at the Euro 2020. They were giving the President's Award. That actually sum up the UEFA award that was held yesterday. Okay, then moving forward, Real Madrid has returned with 170 million euros to bring a certain player from PSG, Kylian Mbappe. At this point in time, they really want the services of Kylian Mbappe, at the Bernabeu Stadium. At this point in time, Mbappe is saying, "Allow me to go. I really want to go and play for Real Madrid," and the club management are saying, "No, we just have to stay put at PSG."
Well, let's see how this deal pans out. But that goes to show how desperate Madrid are in securing the services of this young man. Because right now, Madrid are actually looking for what we call a marquee signing, to really boost their squad. But because we all thought they were going to get Haaland, but Haaland was going to be too expensive for Madrid. But Mbappe is looking more like a more feasible option they can get. But the problem now is they are yet to agree terms with Paris Saint-Germain. So, but the transfer window is still open for another few days. So, I do think that before the end of the transfer window, that they might get this one over the line.
Of course, but me, I'm just looking about the possibility of Mbappe going to Real Madrid, who is a standout player in Real Madrid, that he will actually work up. Of course, they have
Benzema is still there.
They have
Hazard is there.
Bale is also there.
The golfer.
Maybe he can actually spark up the revival of Real Madrid in that particular one. But away from that, also news actually coming at this point in time is Cristiano Ronaldo has been making the headline. Is he going to Manchester City? Is he going to Manchester United? Which club should Ronaldo
right now it's very dicey because I was following that news all day. It was looking like City. Then a few hours ago, reports came out that Manchester have actually agreed a fee with Juventus, and Ronaldo is actually willing to return to United. Well, let's see how that will be. It's going to be a sensational return back to Old Trafford. Let's see how it pans out before the end of today.
Of course, before we go on the show, we head straight to the English Premiership action. We'll actually return in the English Premiership this weekend, where Arsenal will seek redemption when they play the champions. Talking about Manchester City, Aston Villa, Brentford. You can see that on your screen. Brighton versus Everton, Newcastle, Southampton, Norwich, Leicester City, West Ham against Crystal Palace, Liverpool against Chelsea. And then on Sunday, Burnley versus Leeds, Spurs versus Watford, then Wolves and Manchester United will wrap up the day 3 of the English Premiership. But before we go quickly, the star match of the weekend is Manchester City versus Arsenal, and is an early kickoff tomorrow.
There are 2 star matches: Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Of course, tomorrow. Of course, so it's a whole lot of it will be like a super Saturday tomorrow. So let's quickly get a prediction.
Man City, Arsenal. Man City are taking this one. Liverpool, Chelsea. Chelsea are still basking in the euphoria of being champions, but I give it to Liverpool.
Of course, who is your money on this weekend? Is it Chelsea? Is it Arsenal? Is it Liverpool? Is it Manchester United? Which of this club is your money on this weekend? Why not go to our WhatsApp, our Facebook handle and go and send in your comment. But for now, I want to thank Alpha for coming on the show today. It was interesting talking sports with you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Of course, thank you viewers for staying with us. Sport Orbit makes a return on Sunday. Sorry. was hoping that we were going to come for the English Premiership, but
On
no
Monday.
way. We'll make a return on Monday. And when we come, we are going to be revealing all the sporting action that actually went down during the weekend. But for now, my name is Olawale Ayen. I'm saying bye bye for now. Do have a great weekend and God bless you.